1,800 miles away from New York, is the source of not only the most expensively controlled river, but the source of one of the most geographical contentious issues the world has ever faced. My name is Daniel Evans, and welcome to my presentation on the Colorado River. In this presentation, I'll be investigating whether life in the desert is sustainable or not. I'll be drawing on how the river is managed, and I'll be exploring the social, economic and environmental impacts of these methods. I will give my own personal view as well as many other people's. So first, let's take an investigatory voyage around the Colorado to get a better knowledge of the area. The Colorado River flows southwest 1,470 miles to the Gulf of California. It's a primary river which forms the international boundary for 17 miles between Arizona and Mexico. In the upper and middle portions of the river, there are tributaries that cut a labyrinth of deep gorges, the most famous being the Grand Canyon. The lower section separates into two deserts, the Mojave and the Sonoran. But what is a desert exactly? Well, a desert is a landscape where out of an average of 10 inches of precipitation per year, more water is lost as evapotranspiration than falls as precipitation. Let's look at the physical geography then of the Mojave Desert. It's by far the driest and the smallest of the North American deserts, occupying 7% of the total arid lands. 2,500 species of animals and plants are thought to be living there, but 100 of them are thought to be in peril. The diversity in vegetation results from different rock types and different elevations. And finally, it receives very little rainfall. Look at the climate graph, and you can see that the ongoing drought is still continuing. The major cities are scattered in a random distribution in a whole range of elevations, California being at the highest at 2,800 metres. But population density is in a west to east distribution. If you look at the map here, you see that it's more in the west than the east. In terms of the management, the Colorado is already one of the most highly managed rivers in the world. It features 7 US states and Mexico. Half of it's engineered, leaving only 600 kilometres untouched. With 25 million people demanded on it, it's no surprise, and it's been exploited so much over the last century. The Hoover Dam and the Glen Canyon Dam are both ways it's being managed. These 20th century feats of engineering now reduce discharge levels in the river. Oh well, so what? At least it provides a source of water via the Colorado Aqueduct to thirsty desert cities such as Las Vegas. But is there another side of the coin? Are we neglecting the nasty negatives? Are we being greedy with water? Have we considered all the arguments? For the sake of time, I'm just going to select a few of these, but there's so many of them, and I hope that you research them yourself. In terms of the negative impact upon the environment, clearer water. Well, you may be saying now, oh, that's a positive, isn't it, Daniel? Well, no, it isn't, because rates of transportation of sediments have reached nearly zero, and the load of the river has reduced by a factor of 200. This obviously alters the alluvial morphology being the shape of the river and the study of how it changes over time. The Colorado changes dramatically and has reduced in size. And the animal kingdom has been affected as well. The canid snail and the willow flycatcher have suffered decline. With the colder water, there will obviously be a lower energy in the water. Therefore, kinetic energy also suffers. If kinetic energy decreases, there will be an increase in sediment. Therefore, the river will deposit the load onto the sandbanks, and hopefully vanishing species will be saved. Of course, there's not just the positive points about the environment. Oh no, the management also affects people as well. Firstly, it regenerates 70 million kilowatts of hydroelectric power, giving people the freedom to do almost anything at any time of day. The views in Arizona are very soft as well and attract lots of tourists, despite 500,000 people who seem to make a pollution problem. And plus, the new aspirations and opportunities of the town inspire people all the world to work there, and the domino effect ensures people of many jobs. £3.5 billion worth of houses have been knocked down as a resulting factor of building 350 kilometres of new roads. Only 65 kilometres have been completed because the government has run out of money, leaving the Orlando family not knowing what to do. And I quote there, "Life's on hold right now," that's what he said. "No one wants to build houses. We can't make plans." There are also effects on Arizona on the whole, and America as well. More people are migrating from the north to the south, creating both negative and positive effects. There are a lack of facilities in the south, and in the north, a less recognised city, which reduces tourist numbers. Down to the ground, and farmers are also praising the management plans. Farmers such as Paco Wallerton in Casa Grande in Arizona say the cotton variety that we grow is well suited to the desert climate of Arizona, but no farming would be possible without irrigation. The condition of the Colorado affects the hydrological cycle as well. Across the US, 4,200 million gallons of water precipitate each day. 68% of groundwater storage was used for irrigation, that's 60 billion gallons a day. At present, it's 97.3 billion gallons a day, and 50% of drinking water is used for the population. The permeable and porous rock in the Colorado River Basin means that 725 million tonnes of water infiltrate and percolate down to the groundwater flow. This will transpire via the through flow. This is affected by the compaction, the density and the topography of the area. 29.5% of the precipitation every day is transferred by stem flow, as it's intercepted by the vegetation. Some of the water transits to transpiration, and any other water transfers either by surface runoff, the Colorado River, or in the case of the lower drainage basin, evapotranspiration, where all the left water just evaporates according to air temperature, wind speed and solar radiation. In a recent survey, 86% of voters said that the Colorado River was a state treasure. 91% said the river was important personally, and 84% said it needed better protection. It's a contentious issue, isn't it, with many mixed opinions. A farmer might enjoy the amount of irrigation the river gives. A resident in Arizona, maybe despite the lax lifestyle, may not like the high water bills. In my opinion, I found that even though some of the natural beauty has been lost, scientists are now advancing their knowledge and understanding of the river. At least it makes us more aware of what could happen to other significant rivers in the future. In this presentation, I've looked at the current status of the Colorado River, I've explored the management schemes in place, and I've looked at the impact they give both the environment and people. So what now? Is it sustainable? Well, not at the moment, but what people overlook is that these small things really do matter. You may have a leaking tap, rather than just walking by it every day, drip, 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 why don't fix it? Save some water, and save some water by using buckets to wash your car instead of a hose. Cover the swimming pool to reduce evaporation, and water the garden less frequently. This will establish deeper root systems in the plant, and it also saves you water as well. As Tesco's quite rightly says, every little helps. What you do in your plot may not be that important. It may be a small plot, but your plot of land is part of a much larger plot. And to achieve sustainability, it's the little things, such as the ones I've just mentioned, that will make all the difference. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that was a very good revision video. I certainly thought it was. Oh, yes. Now, for further references, there are many books available that you can use for the Colorado River. Wider World, page 168. The drainage basins are covered greatly in there. Earthworks 3, page 100. Earthworks 3, page 100. Colorado River on the general is explained there. And Avery Hill, who's she? Well, that's a book. Water, Land, Thoughts and People, page 58. The Grand Canyon is explored there. Thank you for listening, and good luck in your exams.